Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. In today's video, we are going to discuss October 2025 paper 2. The first question here says to you that they're requesting to draw a ring around the irrational number in this list. So this is definitely a fraction, which is rational. A terminating decimal, also rational. This has pi in it, so it is irrational. And that is it. You're going to find that everything else is just rational. Calculate square root of 2 times square root of 32. You're going to find that it is square root of 64, which is just 8. Write 30,000 in standard form. It must be any number that is between 1 and 10, which is here 3 in this case, but multiplied by 10 to the power of something. Here you're going to find 4 zeros, so it is 10 to the power of 4. Chen tries to factorize 4 expressions. Take the 2 expressions that he has factorized correctly. Notice that they said 2 expressions. All right, over here, he got 3x as a factor. He took 3 from the numbers, and this is the highest common factor that he can divide both of them by, yes. And he got also the x. Then he divided 3x squared by 3x. Then he had the result x. He divided 6x by 3x, which is 2. So this one is correct. You're going to find that over here he got the 4, but this is not the highest common factor. The highest common factor is to divide both of them by 8. So he should have done 8a outside, out of the brackets. So this one is not factorized correctly. The other one over here, taking a 6 as a factor, that's not correct because the 6 can be divided by 6, yes, but the 9 cannot divide by 6. The last one is the correct one here, factorizing this by taking 7 from both coefficients as a factor and the b as a factor also. This is going to give you the correct answer. All squares are also rectangles. Yes, this is true because all squares they have right angles, they have 2 pairs of parallel lines, and they have all the properties of a rectangle, plus that all the 4 sides are equal. So it is a rectangle, yes, plus one more thing, which is all the sides are equal. All parallelograms are also rhombuses? No, false. Why, mister? Because the parallelograms, they are not all the sides are equal like the rhombuses. They do not have all the properties of the rhombus. The rhombus has a property which is that the 4 sides are equal. The 4 sides must be equal. This is not the case with a parallelogram. So it is false. But you can say that all rhombuses are actually parallelograms. Yes, all rhombuses are parallelograms. 8 to the power of negative 4 is the same as 1 over 8 to the power of 4. When you flip the fraction, the sign of the index changes. Here, the only pair of brackets that you can put is around the 14 and the square root of 36 to make it true. So that it is 14 plus 6, which is 20. You divide it by 2 gives you the 10. Triangle A is reflected in the line x equals negative 3 to give you triangle B. So A is reflected through x equals negative 3 to give you triangle B. Samira says triangle B must be reflected in the line y equals negative 3 to give triangle A. So she's saying that to get back to triangle A from triangle B, you must reflect it through y equals negative 3. Why? Definitely not. Samira is not correct. Complete Samira's statement with the correct line of reflection. Triangle B is reflected in the line. What? To get back to triangle A, it is the same line, mister. The same line exactly, which is x equals negative 3. The same line is going to take me back to triangle A. It's reflection. The same middle line. Mike thinks of a number n. He adds 3 to it, so n plus 3. He then squares the result, so all is squared. Here, if you expand them first by first, it gives you k squared, done. Then first by second gives you 9K. Then second by first gives you 5K. And second by second gives you the 45. So I have the 45, I have the K squared, but we do not have the coefficient of K. So 9 plus 5 is 14K. Here, this is P plus 6 multiplied by itself. So you're going to find that here, this is P squared, done. 6P and then 6P again, done. Then 6 times 6 is 36. Here, this is square root of 16. And this, well, mister, I know that if it was a 5, it is square root of 25. If it was a 5. Mister, anything that is in between, definitely square root of 17 is very close to the 4. And definitely I haven't reached the 4.5 yet. If you want something that doesn't pass 4.5, make sure that you get something that doesn't pass halfway between square root of 16 and square root of 25. So you're going to find square root of 17 accepted, square root of 18 accepted, square root of 19 is also accepted. The nth term of a sequence is n over 2. Find the value of the 12th term. I remove the n and write 12 instead of it, so it's 12 over 2, which is just 6. Here are the first 5 terms of a different sequence. If you notice over here, they're providing the cube numbers. So the nth term is n cubed. Here we need to use the bearing. The scale drawing shows the position. Let me just open the application first. Just a second. Here you go. All right. So they're telling you a boat is 85 kilometers from the lighthouse on a bearing 110 degrees. The first thing that you must do is that using the scale. The scale says to you 1 centimeter is 10 kilometers. I want the 85 kilometers, then your line must be 8.5 centimeters because 1 centimeter is 10 kilometers. So 8.5 centimeters will be what? 85 kilometers, which is what they want. So your line must be 85 kilometers, but which direction? You must use the protractor. Look at this. We measure it from north clockwise. Here you go. Then you get 110 degrees, which is this one. You don't need to draw the arrow. I just drew it for a technical reason because I cannot plot using the protractor. So here, you just go this way, this direction. And then if you leave it this way, you're going to be wrong. Why, mister? Because you don't know if this is 8.5 centimeters or not. Then you must use the ruler. Within this direction for 8.5 centimeters. Here you go. 8.5 centimeters. All right, next question. But they said to you here with a cross. So you must go back to the question and put the cross this way. It is here. They won't see this. Even if you don't draw the line, by the way, they're going to accept it because they wanted to mark X. Find the size of an exterior angle of a regular pentagon. Well, we learned, let me erase this. All right, we learned that exterior equals 360 over n. The number of sides is 5, so it is 360 over 5. You're going to find that it is 72 degrees. A regular polygon has an interior angle of 170 degrees. Work out the number of sides of that polygon. So Mister, we learned that the number of sides is equal to 360 over exterior. Yes, but we don't know what the exterior is equal to. But you know the interior is 170. So you know that interior plus exterior equals 180 degrees. So if the interior is 170, then the exterior must be equal to 10. So it's 360 over 10, which is 36 sides. Here they're giving you the probability table, and they're requesting from you to complete the table. Then you should add the three of them up. 0.2. By the way, this is paper 2. Yes, I did not use the calculator until now because we didn't actually need to. If you need to use the calculator over here, you should know that the sum of all the probabilities or the possibilities, they add up to one whole. So 1 minus everything that you have in the table, 0.2 plus 0.18 plus 0.45. Minusing them from one whole gives you 0.17. On Tuesday, 600 cars passed Lily's window. Calculate the expected number of cars passing Lily's window on Tuesday that are blue or gray. Blue is 0.2, mister. So I say 0.2 for the blue multiplied by the 600 cars. But they said to you, or gray. So plus, the gray is 0.18, but multiplied by the 600. So it is going to give you what? 0.2 multiplied by 600 plus 0.18 multiplied by 600. No need to use brackets because the order of operation forces you to follow the multiplication first. Plus 0.18 multiplied by 600. If you use the brackets, it's not going to be a mistake. So it is 228 cars are estimated actually or expected to pass Lily's house that are blue or gray. We learned before that for any regular polygon, the number of sides is equal to the number of lines of symmetry is equal to order of rotational symmetry. The four of them are equal. So if the number of sides is 4, lines of symmetry is 2, rotational symmetry is 2, then definitely not regular. How do you know, mister? They must be equal. They must be equal to give you a regular polygon. So for the second one over here, 4 sides, 4 lines of symmetry, order of rotation symmetry 4, then it is regular. 10 sides, 10 lines of symmetry, 5 order of rotation symmetry, no, not regular. The length here in meters of a car is 3.2 meters, corrected to 1 decimal place. So you must subtract 0.05 because it's only 1 decimal place. So as if there is a 5 over here, add it or minus it. So add or minus 0.05. So what is this going to give you? This should give you here that it is 3.25. Then you minus 0.05 from it, so 3.15. Next, a triangle is drawn on the grid, and they are requesting from you to enlarge it with scale factor 2. So to enlarge the rectangle, we should start from the center of enlargement until the closest vertex. Mister, it is 1 down. Good. Mister, I made a mistake actually, and I started from this vertex. I counted until this vertex. Not a mistake. It is also fine. That even if you go to this point from the center, it's also going to be correct. But what is going to make it wrong is actually that you get back and you start counting from the vertex itself. You must start counting from the center, not from the vertex. So here, it is 1 down. I'm going to make it 2 down from the center. So this point becomes here. And instead of A, this is the image of A. All right, B is going to be where? If you want to go and count from the center, again, 1 up, 1 left, then you make it 2 up, 2 left. Fine. Here you go. Image of B. If you want to do 2 up, 2 right, then you make it 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 4 right. Accepted. See? Okay. Then you connect with a straight line. Here you go. Here you go. And here's the last one. I'm going to erase this to move to the next question. To solve this simultaneous equation, you must have the coefficients the same. Okay, mister, how can I make the coefficients the same? You can multiply down by 3 or by 2. Mister, both are correct? Yes, whatever you want. If you want to eliminate the x's, then you multiply down by 3. If you want to eliminate the y's, then you multiply down by 2. So it is totally up to you. I would choose, well, it's a random choice for no reason. I would choose to eliminate the x's first. So here, multiplying the second equation by 3 will lead, the first equation is going to stay the same, no changes. The second equation is going to give you 3x plus 12y equals 48. Subtracting the equations. Why am I subtracting and not adding? Because I want to eliminate the x's. If you say 3x plus 3x is going to give you 6x because they are both positive. But here, no, mister, we need to subtract them for elimination to happen. So bye-bye. 8y minus 12y is negative 4y equals 28 minus 48 is negative 20. So y equals positive 5. Negative 20 divided by negative 4 is positive 5. Go take the y and substitute in one of the two equations. So now it is 3x plus 8 times 5, which is 40, equals 28. So 3x equals negative 12, taking the 40 to the other side, negative 40. So x is negative 4. All right. Mister, I want to check my answer, if it's correct or not. Get any fraction, any equation that you want. X plus 4y equals 16. Remove the x and write negative 4. Remove the y and write instead of it or substitute with 5. So it's 4 times 5, which is 20. So equals positive 16. It worked. They wanted the volume of this cylinder. Volume equals area of cross-section multiplied by height. Okay, area of cross-section is what? Pi r squared, which is what? R squared is 4.5 squared. Then multiply by the height. A very straightforward question, mister. So pi multiplied by 4.5 squared multiplied by 20 equals 405 pi is accepted. You're going to take the 2 marks for 405 pi. If you wanted this way, 1272.3 is also accepted. Rearrange the formula to make x the subject. So, mister, I love to switch first. I make x on the right side. This just makes me feel more comfortable. Fine. The last thing that happened to x is what? X got squared, mister, first. Good. Then the answer of x squared got multiplied by 6. Excellent. Then I subtracted at the end a. Perfect. And then you started with the end. Send it to the other side plus a. So 6x squared equals y plus a. Now the x got squared, then multiply by 6. So the last thing that happened is multiply by 6, send it to the other side, divide by 6. The last thing right now that we have is the square. I'm going to send it to the other side, square root, but unfortunately many of you made a mistake in this one by writing y plus a over 6, and the square root is only at the top. This is wrong, because you need to square root everything over there. So it's square root of everything. Jamila attempts to round the two numbers in the table correct to 3 significant figures. So let's do this. Rounding to 3 significant figures, the first significant figure is the first non-zero figure. So this is the first significant figure. The one after it is the second, even if it is 0. Only the first cannot be a 0, but the second significant figure can be a 0. and here is the third significant figure. So we need to round it to the nearest thousands. So it's going to be 208,000. Okay, because after the 7 is a strong number. After the 7 is a strong digit. So it gives it 1, it becomes 208,000. All right, but over here, okay. Question 21 says to you, Jamila attempts to round the two numbers in the table corrected to three significant figures. Her answers are wrong. Complete the table with the two numbers correctly rounded. Jamila attempts to round the two numbers in the table correct to three significant figures. Her answers are wrong. Complete the table with the two numbers correctly rounded to three significant figures. So these are the mistakes that she made. So don't get confused with rounding them. No, these are the numbers. So what are we supposed to do? I need first to determine where is the third significant figure. This is the first significant figure. The first significant figure is the first non-zero figure. After it is the second, even if it is a zero. Only the first figure cannot be a zero. The first significant figure cannot be a zero, but anything else can be a zero, fine. So the third significant figure is actually this. Look at the digit after it, strong or weak? It is weak, so it is 207,000. Everything after turns into a zero. If they were decimal places, you remove them. But they are actually part of a whole number, so you turn them into zeros. Here, this is not the first significant figure. The first significant figure must be a zero. This is not the first significant figure either. Here is the first significant figure. Here is the second. Here is the third. So, Mr. I'm going to round it to this. All right, perfect. Look at the digit after it is stronger, so the 7 becomes 8. So 0.0348. Everything after it, don't say 0. No. Everything after it gets removed because we're talking about a decimal place here. 4, you multiply by 5 squared, which means 4 multiplied by 25, it is 100. But mister, they said if y is 36, so 36 equals 4x squared. Send the 4 to the other side, division, so x squared is 9. Okay, mister, so x is what? X is the root of 9. What is the root of 9? We agreed that the square root of any number could be positive, could be negative. So it is positive or negative 3. The equation of this line. First, mister, we need to find the gradient. To find the gradient, you need to ask yourself two questions. Is it negative or positive gradient? The line is going down, so it must be negative gradient. Now, how can I find the coefficient of x, which is the gradient? You must choose two stable points. And then it is rise. Here is 1, 2, 3. Overrun, which is 2. So it's 3 over 2. Negative 3 over 2x. The y-intercept, where did the line cross the y-axis? At 1. So it is negative 3x over negative 3 over 2x plus 1. You write it this way, accepted. It is, if it is negative 1.5 x plus 1, also accepted. If you switch keeping the signs correct, like 1 minus 3 over 2x, also correct. You can also write 3x over 2, fine. Negative 3x over 2 plus 1, also accepted. All of them are accepted options. Calculate the total area of the shape. So here, area of a semicircle is pi r squared over 2. All right. While area of the triangle is base times height over 2. So this is the area of a triangle. While this is the area of the semicircle. Let's do them one by one. Area of a semicircle equals pi multiplied by, the radius is 6, not 12. This is the diameter. So 6 squared over 2 equals, you're going to find this is 36 pi over 2, which is 18 pi centimeters squared. This is the area of the semicircle. You want to do it on the calculator and then you round your answer, fine. But do not round for less than 1 decimal place. It must be like 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, and so on. All right, what about the area of the triangle? Now we found the area of the semicircle. Area of the triangle, we have here a trick. If you think that this is the base, then you are right. Base is actually 12. But if you think that this is the height, then you're wrong. This is not the height. The height must be perpendicular. We said it many times before. Height must be perpendicular with making a right angle. So AC here is the height. How can I find it, mister? How can I find the height? So Pythagoras, it is a right angled triangle. A squared equals C squared minus B squared. So A is equal to the square root of, what is C squared? It's the hypotenuse squared. Minus, what is B squared? It is 12 squared. Then you will find that A equals square root of 225 minus 144, which is, you can use the calculator for that, which is going to give you exactly 81. Square root of 81. So A is just 9. So this side is 9 centimeters. This side is 9 centimeters. All right, let's continue. Now it is the height is 9 over 2. Then you will find that it is 54 centimeters squared. This is the area of the triangle. Mister, they wanted the area of the total shape. So it is 54 plus 18 pi. We open the calculator. 54 plus 18 pi equals 110.5, rounding it to 1 decimal place, 110.5 centimeters squared. The last question, the graph shows information about the mass of each of 34 melons. All right, calculate an estimate of the mean mass of these melons. So you should find first, or you should remember that rule to find the mean or estimate of the mean. Total what? It is total frequency multiplied by midpoint over total frequency, which is the total number of melons. So, Mister, I know that the total frequency here, I'm just using this space so that if I go down, you will not be able to see the question. So I'm using this space, but on the paper, you have all this space. Work it out here. So let's continue. Actually, I'm going to need the space at the bottom. Here, for the total frequency multiplied by midpoint, I'm going to say mean, or the estimation of the mean equals. Look at that. The midpoint here is what? 1.3. So the midpoint is 1.3 multiplied by the frequency of 1.3, which is 7, plus the midpoint is 1.5 multiplied by the frequency of 1.5, which is 10, plus the midpoint is 1.7 multiplied by 14, 1.7 multiplied by 14. Then the last one is 1.9. And you multiply by 3. The frequency of 1.9 is 3. Over the total frequency, which is, we agreed that they said 34 melons. So mean is equal to, you can do this now on your calculator.